The Lucifer Effect, Understanding How Good People Turn Evil by Philip Zimbardo explores the psychological mechanisms behind the transformation of ordinary individuals into perpetrators of cruelty, evil, and immoral behavior. Zimbardo, a renowned psychologist best known for conducting the Stanford Prison Experiment, delves deeply into the conditions under which good people can become evil, shedding light on the influence of situational and systemic factors. Zimbardo begins the book by reflecting on the origins of his own fascination with human behavior, particularly his Stanford Prison Experiment conducted in 1971. The experiment, which assigned college students the roles of guards and prisoners in a mock prison, rapidly devolved into abusive and dehumanizing behavior by the guards. Zimbardo uses this experiment as a foundation for understanding how individuals can act in harmful ways when placed in environments that encourage such behavior. He argues that the situation itself, rather than inherent evil within the individuals, played a key role in their transformation. The book expands beyond the Stanford Prison Experiment, drawing on historical examples such as the atrocities committed by Nazi soldiers during the Holocaust, the behavior of American soldiers in the Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, and the participation of individuals in cults and terrorist groups. Zimbardo shows that in each of these cases, ordinary people were able to engage in extreme acts of cruelty under the right conditions, highlighting the power of the situation and the social roles people play in shaping their actions. A central concept in the Lucifer effect is the idea of de-individuation, a psychological state in which individuals lose their sense of personal identity and accountability within a group. This phenomenon often leads to behaviors that they might not normally engage in when alone. Zimbardo explains how de-individuation is exacerbated in environments where individuals are stripped of their personal identities, such as in prisons or military settings, making it easier for people to commit acts of cruelty without fear of consequences or self-blame. Zimbardo also introduces the concept of social and institutional structures, arguing that the systems within which individuals operate can have a profound influence on their behavior. When individuals are part of a hierarchical system with clear roles and authority figures, they may be more likely to follow orders and engage in unethical behavior. He emphasizes how institutions like the military, police, and even prisons can facilitate and encourage abusive behaviors, often by depersonalizing the victims and stripping them of their humanity. The book examines the role of authority figures in fostering evil behavior, particularly how those in positions of power can influence and manipulate individuals under their control. Zimbardo discusses the psychological processes that enable people to obey harmful commands, even when they go against their moral values. He explores the famous Milgram experiment on obedience, in which participants were willing to administer potentially lethal electric shocks to others simply because an authority figure told them to do so. This study, along with Zimbardo's own, shows that people are highly susceptible to authority figures and can be complicit in harmful actions when directed to do so. Zimbardo also highlights the concept of moral disengagement, a process by which individuals justify immoral actions and convince themselves that their behavior is acceptable. This can be achieved through techniques such as dehumanizing the victims, displacing responsibility, or blaming the victims for their fate. By engaging in moral disengagement, individuals can commit heinous acts without feeling guilt or remorse, as their actions are no longer seen as morally wrong. One of the key insights of the Lucifer effect is the notion that the potential for evil lies within all people. Zimbardo argues that under certain circumstances, everyone is capable of committing immoral or destructive acts. He cautions against the tendency to view evil as something external, embodied by a few bad apples. Instead, he urges readers to recognize the situational factors that can lead good people to engage in harmful behavior. By understanding these factors, individuals can take steps to protect themselves and others from falling victim to such transformations. Zimbardo provides an in-depth exploration of the banality of evil, a term coined by political theorist Hannah Arendt to describe how ordinary people can engage in evil acts in a routine, unthinking manner. He uses examples from history, particularly the actions of Nazi bureaucrats, to show how individuals can become perpetrators of mass atrocities when they view their actions as part of a larger, institutionalized system rather than as personal moral choices. Zimbardo highlights the importance of critical thinking and moral awareness in preventing the normalization of evil. The book also tackles the influence of group dynamics and the role of in-group versus out-group thinking. Zimbardo explains how individuals in a group can develop a sense of unity and loyalty, which may lead them to treat outsiders as less than human. This creates a us versus them mentality that can justify harmful actions against those perceived as different or inferior. He also explores how group polarization, the tendency for groups to adopt more extreme views over time, can contribute to the escalation of harmful behavior. Zimbardo's work is not just theoretical, it is a call to action. He urges society to recognize the power of social and situational factors in shaping behavior and to take responsibility for creating environments that foster ethical conduct. He believes that understanding the factors that lead people to commit evil acts can help prevent such behavior in the future. This includes fostering environments that encourage empathy, accountability, and self-reflection. Throughout the Lucifer effect, Zimbardo provides practical suggestions for reducing the risk of individuals falling into destructive behaviors. One of his key recommendations is to promote moral courage, encouraging individuals to speak out against injustice and stand up for what is right, even in the face of pressure from authority figures or groups. He also stresses the importance of creating systems and structures that promote transparency, accountability, and respect for human dignity. In the final chapters of the book, Zimbardo reflects on the implications of his research for understanding contemporary issues such as terrorism, human rights abuses, and systemic injustice. He argues that by understanding the psychological processes that enable individuals to engage in evil, society can take proactive steps to prevent such behavior. He also discusses the importance of education in fostering moral reasoning and critical thinking skills, which can help individuals resist the temptation to engage in harmful actions. Ultimately, the Lucifer effect provides a sobering look at the dark side of human nature, while offering hope that by understanding the psychological mechanisms behind evil, individuals and societies can work to prevent its spread. Zimbardo's book serves as both a warning and a guide to understanding the conditions that lead people to commit atrocities, as well as a call to action to foster more ethical and compassionate societies. Through a combination of psychological research, historical analysis, and personal reflection, Zimbardo presents a compelling case for the power of situational forces in shaping human behavior and the importance of moral awareness in resisting the forces of evil.